I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the adventurous world of a wonderful children's book. It is called The Coastal Dune Drama, Bob the Gopher Tortoise by Katherine Seeds Nash. This captivating story tells the tale of Bob, a kidnapped gopher tortoise, as he navigates through various challenges with the help of newfound friends. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Katherine, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's great to see you.
Great to have you on the show. Loved your book. I think it's very imaginative and a story that will not only entertain children, but it'll inform them as well, which of course is the goal. Tell us a little bit about your inspiration behind it all.
Well, how far back do you want to go? My what inspired the book Bob the Gopher Tortoise was getting a certification of Florida Master Naturalist program run by Dr. Marty Main at the University of Florida. And for one of the courses, you have to do a little project at the end of the course. And my first degree is in forest resources and conservation from UF. My second degree is in teaching from Nova Southeastern. And I wanted to put the two together and reach children that way. I can reach more children by not just 12 in a classroom. So I wrote this book. Everybody went nuts about it. It was the most approval I've ever felt in my entire life. And I thought, I'll publish it. And after I published it, I sent it to the Florida Department of Education. And I said, hey, we need to get kids back outside, that they're doing this too much inside. And they put it on their website for second grade reading.
Wonderful.
So that actually does more than one classroom at a time, which was my goal, was to inspire children to connect them with nature, to teach them about nature. Children have a natural love of nature, but as you go to school, there's a bit of a disconnect, and we don't really teach science and nature until high school. So we need to bring that back.
Well, you can get the kids outside. They're cooped up in the class all day. Like you said, they're mesmerized by screens. Let them read a book. Let them go out and explore nature. I think it's a great prescription for all that ails young people today, from obesity to depression and anxiety and beyond. Let's give the folks at home an overview of what the story is about.
The story is about Bob the Gopher Tortoise, who's a threatened species in Florida. And I also wanted to educate children that it's actually illegal to pick them up. Unless they're in the road, you can, if they're in a certain direction, you can pick them off of the road and put them at the side of the road. That's why I had the child pick Bob up and the mother say, hey, that's illegal. So everything is a little lesson. Every page there's a little lesson, and gopher tortoises are keystone species, and that means that over 300 commensal species rely on their burrows for food, for shelter, and so they're incredibly important in this web of life. And so I wanted to teach everybody that gopher tortoises, a lot of builders just bulldoze over them when they're developing, and Florida's being developed a lot. And it's just important to make children know, especially children, because that's the generation that will grow up having a connection with the gopher tortoise and then care about it. As I've always said, adults are too busy with their own lives to really care. You have to start with children. Exactly. And so Bob gets kidnapped, dropped off at the beach, and can't figure out how to get back home. And Florida scrub jay and a four-spotted pennant dragonfly as friends help him get back and back to his burrow. But it also mentions how roads fragment their habitats and brings up issues that gopher tortoises face and other animals face as we develop their landscape.
Absolutely, yeah. Every
But he
square
makes it
inch
back
of,
home, and I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So he makes it back home and then tells the story of how friendship uh, saved him today, and that's the takeaway is for kids, the friendship, a connection with others is important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, in a society where people are increasingly isolated because of their time spent on screens, knowing that, we do live in a society, a community where people help people is important as well. And I was about to say before, every square inch of Florida seems like it's getting built upon and developed. There's more condos being built in record numbers, I think, every day. So letting children be aware of the environment, of nature, of open space, of beautiful creatures like the Gopher Tortoise, I think that's all great work. Now, you're interested in expanding your reach. Have you thought about the Coastal Dune Drama as a animated feature, perhaps?
That would be awesome.
Yep.
I haven't gotten that far as to figure out how to promote it that way. I do have Bob 3. I've written the Coastal Dune Drama and Bob and Trey's Excellent Adventure. And I have Bob 3 in my head. I figured if it ever goes to film or something, it's going to need, some more story to it to show that it could be more than just one book.
Wonderful. So now you've got the makings of a series here because you've got, multiple books now. Like you said, the third one's cooking in the word processor in your head. And that's wonderful. And you've actually done the first step in getting this turned into a series or a film, and that is putting the work out there so people can discover it and maybe be inspired by it and want to create it and turn it into a film or a series or something like that. I think it'd be wonderful. What's the second Bob book about?
The second Bob and Trey's Excellent Adventure, Bob gets kidnapped again, but this time he's been relocated. There's construction going on in this habitat, and so a relocator is called. You have to have a special permit and a license to go pick up gopher tortoises and relocate them. And he was relocated, and he and Trey got separated, but found each other. And there's drama, of course, and brought in some new species that I think are just beautiful, and showed how he adapted to the new environment and
Wonderful.
how it all uh, came out with a happy ending. And then at the very last page, he meets another gopher tortoise named Lucy.
Oh, I see book 3, Lucy and Bob's Most Excellent Adventure. That sounds good. Wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to ask you, who's your target audience for the book? I know you mentioned second graders, but it's a little broader than that as well, right?
Yes, uh, certainly early elementary is what my master's is in for education is early elementary. But if you think about it, grandparents, parents read the story to their kids. So I reach much more than that.
Mhm.
I mean, I hope to reach everyone
Yeah.
in some way. But the most important, and I said this, I remember in a project at UF when I said it's important to educate people, and someone said, How? How do we do that? And I said, it starts with children,
Mm.
because that's when you can form an emotional attachment to animals the way we're attached to Shamu. I don't go out and see Shamu, but I love Shamu. I'll be there to help protect Shamu
Right.
should Shamu need protecting because I grew up knowing about Shamu as a character, and so that's what it's about with children. And if they know the animal species, then they hear about it, and then they'll listen to a news story or something. If they've never heard of it, then it might just go over their heads.
You're helping shape their priorities, their sensibilities, and their circle of concern. So I think that's great. Tell us a little bit about the illustrations.
This was, I was so lucky. I was for the Coastal Dune Drama. I was looking for I mean, it's kind of the first book I wrote was about my grandma Gatewood, and I got an illustrator, and that cost money. Excuse me. So I thought, well, I'll just find free photos on the internet to put with the Coastal Dune Drama, as I did for the actual project. But then the next program I was in, Becca Walkner did her final project with a little art project, and she actually drew a picture of a gopher tortoise. And I was like, this was meant to be. Would you like to illustrate Bob the Gopher Tortoise?
Right.
And she lives up the road.
That's great.
So, I mean, she could have been, 3 hours away. She was 30 minutes away. So, and she's super sweet, and we get along really well. And so Rebecca Walkner illustrated both Bob 1 and Bob 2.
Wonderful.
And
well, that was a great
we'll
collaboration.
straight Bob 3.
Yeah, yeah, and a wonderful, serendipitous find that a neighbor was able to
Exactly.
do such great work for you. Wonderful. The name of the book we've been talking about today is The Coastal Dune Drama, Bob the Gopher Tortoise. It's written by Katherine Seeds Nash. It is a captivating story that follows Bob, a kidnapped gopher tortoise, as he navigates through various challenges with the help of his newfound friends. It'll help your children focus on nature, on wildlife, on the environment, and they will love the story as well by learning a whole lot. Katherine, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure's been all mine. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.